available grant. We have been talking about this for quite some time. My name's Dan Nugent. I'm the director of the foundation here at Stockton. And I just want to introduce a couple of our other guests from the university. Obviously, we are here with our president, Joe Galantino, our executive vice president and chief of staff, Dr. Teresita Sass, our president emeritus, Dr. Harvey Kesselman, a member of our board of trustees, Nancy Davis. And can I ask my other colleagues from Stockton to introduce themselves quickly, please?
I work with the Foundation and Development and Alumni Relations Office.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, welcome. I'm Nikki Struthers, Director of Communications and Stewardship.
I'm Brent Arnold, Dean of the School of Health Sciences.
Our faculty members want to introduce themselves?
Please. Our founding director.
Yes, I'm founding director of the Physical Therapy Program.
That's Catherine.
I had a name.
Alicia Mastrangelo, one of the PT faculty.
Thanks.
Rani Al-Majid from Physical Therapy.
Lee Bryan, Assistant Dean, School of Health Sciences.
Matthew Roman, I'm the Director of Clinical Education for the Physical Therapy Program.
Jeff Snyder, also with the Physical Therapy faculty.
Hi, I'm Maria Bucco, Mary Lou Galantino's dearest friend from college. Roommates!
And physician emeritus, just recently retired from Riddle Hospital and is now teaching at Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine. Yes, and she is actually, I do want to point out, she has taught with me in MSPT1, the pain lecture.
Yes.
So having a physician and PT conversation was really delightful. So thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
And her husband.
Oh, hi. Tony DeCicci. I'm married to Maria and Mary Lou's dear friend.
Natalia Manger, International Admissions.
Please.
Are we moving on to family?
Yes.
I'm Mary Lou's sister-in-law, Angela. It's nice to be here.
I'm Mike Galantino. I had the pleasure of growing up in Mary Lou's shadow. For you psychology people in the room, we can talk afterwards. Mary Lou, like Marshall.
Oh boy. Sounds like therapy in a minute.
I gotta do one of those online guys. Right? You know, she's president of the class, straight A's, you know, blah, 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 blah. You know.
To this day.
I'm a little damaged. I'm trying to power through. Who are you?
I'm Lynn Crable, I'm her niece. I'm Eva, I'm also
Potential students here at Stockton. Tell them what grade you're in.
I'm a junior.
Rising senior.
I'm an eighth.
How many?
So they get to have a view and a tour, and it's exciting to be here.
I'm Cressa Crable. I am Mary Lou's youngest sister, aka the baby. I am the one that Mary Lou stays with when she's here long enough.
Yes, and I
So
do
we have
not
the
do my
pleasure of
life
hanging out with
without.
Mary Lou, and she gets to really watch my girls like grow up. And
It's been pretty amazing. I'm very fortunate.
that's so sweet.
Stacy.
Stacy Clapp, University Relations and Marketing.
Tom Nolan, Professor of Physical Therapy.
Well, welcome everyone. I'm going to start things off actually by asking Mary Lou to talk a little bit about what her inspiration was to create this fund.
Absolutely.
Great, thank you.
First, again, thanks for that introduction and welcoming us all to the entire alumni relations and the foundation. I just really have to say it's been a long time in the making. I've envisioned this opportunity way back when in meetings with Bess, when we would sit and we would talk and discuss about, you know, what's in a legacy? What is your legacy? And I can say that our legacies really develop because of mentorship. Bess, as our founding director, was truly instrumental in cultivating this very young academician in 1991 when I was only staying for 1 year. I remember interviewing with the dean at Bess, and of course, one of our deans here, Dr. Nancy Davis, who's on the board of trustees today, who actually took me under her wing when we taught backrack together. That's right.
Oh.
Yeah, so I just want to point out the people around the table have really cultivated who I am today, both as an academician, a researcher, and all my colleagues and family. My family has been my bedrock. I'm sorry that Maddie and Danny are not here. They've also been part of the discussions. Maddie is in New York as an ICU nurse, and Danny is doing his engineering co-op in Maryland right now, and so neither of them could join us. If we fast forward to the founding director, to our former president, Dr. Harvey Kesselman, who really has been certainly a bedrock in so many innovative ideas as we've gone forward. The Atlantic City campus that we have is certainly under the tutelage of his direction and vision. And, you know, it's just really, I continue to have this conversation about how do we manifest what it is that lives on when we're gone. This is my 34th year here.
Wow.
I started when I was 15, please. Please do that. And there's not a day that doesn't go by that I get to welcome new colleagues, new mentors, and new visionaries, as we have Dr. Sass, and as he likes to be called, President Joe, which we were at his inaugural event just last Friday. So it's really remarkable, so welcome. I just returned from the last lectures, and the last lectures really talked about what is particularly special about this university. And I will tell you that what is special, and what the last lecture Dave Burdick spoke to, was about connection. And the foundational connection for me happened at the University of Pittsburgh with that woman right in the back dressed in green, who was, we took our undergraduate degrees together. I went through physical therapy school there as an undergrad, and she went off to medical school at PCOM. I say that this is extended family in many ways, because if it wasn't for the ability to stay, to be mentored, to be guided, to be visionary, to be thinking forward as to what a legacy is, it's really family, because we have the extended family, new babies, and then those that actually think very much alike, like our assistant dean who walks in the door, and we did practically the same PhD together at Temple University. So, you know, my foundation at Pitt to my master's degree at Texas Women's University, then on to my PhD at Temple in psychoeducational. We'll work on that therapy, bro, don't worry. and then my postdoctoral fellowship in integrative medicine at the University of Pennsylvania. I remember saying to Dan, Dan and I had a great conversation. I said, Dan, you know, this is really, really hard. I have all of these places with great mentors, incredible colleagues. Do I donate to Pitt, Temple, Texas Women's, University of Pennsylvania? How do I do that? His lasting words were so, so good. He said, it doesn't matter where you donate. What matters is that you give back. And you give that legacy that is what you envision. So my brother-in-law just walked in, that's Matt Crable. Both of them are local, wonderful middle school teachers. So that's Matt Crable, my baby sister's husband. So I do want to do an introduction. Thank you for being here. And so at the University of Pittsburgh, just to be very specific around this particular grant evolution, I'm first generation, and it was all my family wanted. You gave your speech, your inaugural speech, could have been mine. You know, growing up in a Catholic family, prayer, faith, and family, and education were your words. You stated that so explicitly, and that's been our journey as siblings, as a family. And this is exactly why at the University of Pittsburgh, being first generation, working at Burger King, trying to make my way through college, taking out loans, I just really remember that we had the opportunity to travel abroad. Now, it was my mother who said, just go, fly, do whatever you want to do, go and travel beyond here. And when I went to University of Pittsburgh from the Philadelphia area, it was this like 6 hours away, as if I was leaving. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? School's here, right? My Italian grandmother said to me, and I so profoundly said, it's an opportunity. It's a great gift to be able to be first generation immigrant from Italy and an Irish mother. So you can imagine what the dinner tables were like around our family. And the Cathedral of Learning, and this is my sister Karen. This is the last one. This is Karen Daly. Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here. I'm sorry you couldn't find it. The Cathedral of Learning is a beautiful building at the University of Pittsburgh. It houses countries from all over the world, so that students could actually go to the Italian room, the Latvia room, the German room, and you could actually apply for scholarships that would send you to these particular countries. Now, it was highly competitive, and I remember being a physical therapy student saying, I would love the opportunity to be, just travel and practice my Spanish. I applied for the Latin American Studies Scholarship and received it, and spent an entire summer in Comitán, Chiapas, Mexico. It was originally planned for Guatemala, and there was the guerrilla warfare in 1979 that they diverted to Mexico. I remember sitting around the table interviewing the next summer because I was so enthralled and so excited to travel, first time ever. And I was studying the bow bath technique. Listen to this. This is really pretty stunning. The bow bath technique, and I said, oh, it originated in Sweden. Let me knock on the Sweden door, because maybe I could go there and actually see its origins in a way that is so rich, and an opportunity to actually practice. And did a rotation in Sweden. And I even said it during the interview, please, I had an opportunity to travel abroad last summer. I'm happy to give it up to someone else to have this opportunity. It's really stunning. And so that's the genesis of the goal to give back. And now I'm giving back to our students here at Stockton, because I've had the opportunity to take our students to Haiti, our students through the integrative health minor, where I'm the coordinator. We've had students, my nephew, go and experience China in Beijing through an interprofessional experience, where Michael, who went to Penn State, my godson, he went on to go and have the experience in Beijing all through the minor here. So we really collaborated across institutions at Penn and here. Then we fast forward, and I am so fortunate to have received a Fulbright twice, and have been to South Africa 6 times, of which you're seeing many of the wonderful pictures. It's a beautiful country, and we have evolved into developing curricula there, and right now really working on establishing cancer rehabilitation in very under-resourced areas in provinces that have no internet and have no connectivity. So this Galantino Global Grant in our family name, with my family and extended family around the table, is really with the deepest gratitude and intention to give back, to give a Stockton student. And I said, this was really important that it was all students could be applicants to this, because it just took that one trip to Comitán, Chiapas that had me just find my absolute love of traveling and contributing in communities. So I want to thank everyone around this table for being here, because each one of you has been an incredible part of the journey, because I couldn't do it without anyone. And I just want and wish that everyone can see that traveling opens our eyes to the most amazing disparities, with great intention, with incredible humanity, compassion, and a drivenness. There I am trying to make bread. That's what I'm doing. With rocks. Let me do the dough. I just am looking up and thinking what I did here in South Africa, but I have to say that it takes you to your knees to see the richness of what we have here, both in our communities and here at Stockton. but if it wasn't for the foundation that I received here as a budding academician, when I said I'll only stay here for a year, and it's not 34 years, this Galantino Global Grant wouldn't have manifested. So it's because of all of you that has me here desiring. I do want to add one more motivation moment, and that's Dr. Mastrangelo. Her mom, Marianne, cultivated a scholarship, and we've been talking about this as well. So I think the conversation has been going on for so long, and having Natalia here from an international perspective and really moving the agenda forward for our international relationships. I love when the students from University of Rosario come into my classroom every fall. They're in our classes together. We engage our students. So it happens here on our own campus and abroad. So it's this rhythmical interchange of just dynamism that if we can see just one student have their eyes opened as I did way back in 1979 and 1980, then this will be a legacy that gets to carry on that vision and mission. So thank you all so much.
Thank you, and I would follow up with that, but there's really nothing much more. I appreciate your shyness. And
from the president,
yeah.
who's shy.
Yeah. By the way, to your brother, I'm a social worker. And the fees are low, so it's...
Okay, I'll see you tomorrow.
Anything you contribute will go to the scholarship.
That's a tax write-off.
We've been talking a lot at the university about opportunity. And as many of you know, we serve students primarily from working class families. And so last week during one of our meetings, a student had said, you know, $100 makes or breaks my decision to come to the university or to have experiences such as these. And so we shouldn't underestimate the power of giving and the impact that your gift and others like it will have on the future of our students and the opportunities they provide. That's exciting, and to have students travel, have a certain set of experiences, and then come back and tell that story to other students as part of their Stockton experience, I don't think it gets any better than that. And so on behalf of the university, thank you so much. Here's to another 34 years.
That's right. That's right. I have a lot left in me.
We are very, very grateful. And I'm actually going to turn to my colleague, President Kesselman, because he has known you longer than I have, as has Trustee Davis. And so please feel free to share.
Thank you. And it's almost impossible to follow Mary Lou. I do want for those who don't have a long history at Stockton to get a sense of the people in this room, the physical therapy folks in this room have made the most significant sea change. Their presence made the most significant sea change in the history of Stockton. And I say that with absolute certainty. And Bess is smiling. I remember when she came on board in '91, and I remember when she came on. I even remember when she.
He was a student before I became
I was in the
a
first
faculty.
class, right? But they took a risk in a liberal arts and sciences college, where the whole emphasis was for interdisciplinary studies and the like, to put through a physical therapy program. It not only worked. The first class, I remember, they were going to have 30 students. It was 30 students you were limited at. They had like 1,000. If we used to get 3,000 applications in a year for the whole school. They had 1,000 applications for the 30 positions. It changed everything about who we were. And what it did was, and it was only 30 were going to get in. So the other 970 wound up in the natural sciences and mathematics and the like. So it had the effect, they're all shaking their head, of building all of the other support programs at the university, which transformed us and helped us grow steadily, incrementally over the years. So in addition to the extraordinary skills, and I actually have, I'm not going to do it now because she said most of it, there are something, I've used the term rarely. We only have like 8 distinguished professors on the campus. That's it. That very, very small percentage. They have to excel in 3 areas for the faculty: in teaching, in research, and in service. And she is the quintessential distinguished professor. She had arguably the best IDEA, that's the student evaluations, not just the best scores, but the most responsive, and they talked about her willingness to be an engaged faculty member. She not only changed lives there, she changed lives along with these folks here every single day. So as the former, pretty much every role that I had at the institution, I can say she helped make my life a heck of a lot easier, and I am indebted to your presence on this campus for the better part of 34 years. So,
Trustee Davis, anything?
Well, I just reiterate, when I was dean at the time, and Vera King Ferris had just come on board, and she called me up to her office and she said, "I want a physical therapy program at Stockton, and I expect you to do it, and I'll be very disappointed in you if you do not." And I had my marching orders, but I thought it was a wonderful idea. And I have to say, I worked very, very hard to get Bess, and once Bess was there, I didn't have to do a damn thing. she did everything. But I mean, that was the key. I remember making hundreds of phone calls around the area to try to find somebody to come and help. I mean, I needed a physical therapist that would do this, and it was very difficult. We had God, what was his name? Harvey, you'd remember. He was up in Boston at a conference and ran into Bethany Kames. He came back and said, "You call," and I did, and that was that. But what Harvey said is absolutely right. There were a lot of faculty here that didn't want to see these allied health science programs. They felt that it took away from the pure liberal arts foundation of the university. I felt that one of the things the surrounding community, which was one of our goals, was to help the community grow. And one of the biggest needs in the South Jersey community at that time was a need for good health professionals. We really needed that. Atlanticare was just a brand new hospital on our campus. At the time, we didn't have Rowan, which has been infused with money. It was Glassboro. We were it in southern New Jersey. And so getting the faculty to be willing to accept health science programs was very difficult. But we brought in such high caliber students that's what convinced them that this was a good thing, because we brought in students that literally were very competitive, just as you said. So it turned the whole arts and science faculty around, because they were now getting students that were very, very competent, and I think getting this physical therapy program going on Stockton just promoted the entire college, and I thank you all for what you've all done, and I'm very, very proud of Stockton and the PT people.
Yeah. And thank you for stepping up to be our trustee and co-chair as well.
Well, thank you.
you know, once you retire, you don't ever retire. You did.
You never retire.
You never retire because your service, Nancy, is tireless as well, and back to Stockton. So when we talk about legacy, we could leave financial legacies and service legacies and return to our faculty emeritus professor this fall. And so it's rich. It's really great. So thank you for your service.
I'm very proud of the fact that the global, you know how dear that is. We've talked to me as well. There's nothing more important than being open-minded and going out and seeing how other people live in this world that we live in, which is getting smaller and smaller. And I wanted my kids to be citizens of the world, and they are. One lives in Belgium, the other is in California. He's all over the place. So, it's wonderful, although I wish they were a little closer. But thank you so much. This is a wonderful, wonderful thing you're doing for Stockton. Wonderful. Thank all the rest of your family.
Particularly your brother.
So we have some business to take care of. So we will do that now. So we'll ask Mary Lou and President Joe to sign the formal agreement to establish the Galantino Global Grant.
Official.
So. Here we go. Boom.
So I will welcome everyone to stay, of course, please, and enjoy some refreshments. We have our formal portion is concluded, but I know Mary Lou would like everyone to stay and socialize, so please feel welcome to do that. What's that?
Which schools do you teach at?
I teach at Fernwood Middle School in EHT, and he's in.
Gallery County.
Well, I didn't want to speak. I'm using